got 32% off our car, and here's how we did it. Hi everyone, this is Charm again and welcome back to my channel where we talk about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and adulting how-tos. So a lot of you are curious about the process of buying a car from a second-hand dealership naman. So today, I'll be sharing with you guys how we got our car. There are so many different ways to buy a car and I've made several videos about it before. I'm going to give you guys a step-by-step guide on how we bought our second-hand car. So a portion of this video is brought to you by Gold Aces Car Display Center, but more of them later on. Let's start this video. So you guys are wondering, where do you start? And it always starts with research. So number one, research. Make a checklist of your non-negotiables and negotiables. So for our non-negotiables and nice-to-haves, I'll flash them on screen. But basically, we wanted a crossover and not older than 2021 model for around 800 to 900,000. Yun yung general na gusto namin. And of course, may mga nice-to-haves kami like blind spot detectors and Android Auto or Apple CarPlay and stuff like that, but they are not deal breakers if hindi namin siya mahanap sa unit na nakita namin. After finding out what you like and what you don't like, find out the market value of the cars that you possibly want. So you can look into several models pa, like kami, we looked at a lot of crossovers, check on the variations of the models, and really be specific. So for us, like I said, we looked at a lot of different options, but we brought it down to two. First is 2022 Ford Territory Titanium. Nasa mga 870 to 990 yung price. Or a 2023 Toyota Veloz V. And we looked at the prices in the market. It was around 950 to 1.07 million. Kasi it's a newer model din. Which brings me to step number 3. Check online for listings and check out their mileages. So ways to buy a second-hand car. First, FB Marketplace. You need to schedule a physical meetup nga lang if you wanna look at the unit kasi wala silang physical store that you can just walk into. So pros, there are a lot of options. A lot of private sellers are gonna be selling their personal cars and Facebook Marketplace, but the cons would be the meetups and the safety of that situation. And usually, what we found personally, medyo priced higher siya, maybe because of the sentimental and it's owned by a private sellers, so they want the most out of their money din. Another way is to check out banks' websites for repossessed cars. I've made a lot of videos about this, so I'll link them here. Some allow walk-ins and others require a call or a heads up or an appointment. The pro would be usually it's priced cheaper than the market value kasi repossessed nga and the bank just really wants to get rid of it and convert it to cash. The con is that you're getting an as-is where-is basis car and it's not the most glamorous way to buy a car because maalikabok na yung kotse and most of the cars you can't even test drive. And lastly, which is the route that we took this time, is going to a second-hand dealership. So walk-ins are during office hours and are generally okay. First pro is that cars are checked. Most of them are in great or professionally serviced because nga they have their own maintenance and all of that. And they want to make sure that the units are presentable. Cons, I wouldn't really consider it a con, but what we found is that it's priced in between repossessed cars and private sellers. Kasi of course, the dealership has to make money then. Okay, now so let's talk about our situation and our timeline. So we had a 2016 Toyota Vios. That was my car before we got married. And my husband had a 2012 Mitsubishi Montero. So sedan and SUV, that's why we wanted a crossover. So it was around March 2024 when we were seriously discussing getting a car. Jet and I are also in the process of buying a house and we initially wanted to process that first, but it had a lot of delays. Like ngayon, hindi pa siya tapos. So more on that on another video. And so we basically decided na let's just get the car first. We computed how much we can afford for the car, and I mentioned kanina na our budget was around 800 to 900,000 pesos. We visited over 15 dealerships, warehouses, mall displays, mapa-brand new, second-hand mayan. So we really did a lot of research for this purchase. Next is I created a spreadsheet. I'm a spreadsheet person, so I'll link a template down below, but basically, I listed everything that I found from everywhere so that we can easily see and compare prices. And then finally, we found a great deal from Gold Aces Car Display Center that we couldn't pass up. Okay, so let's talk about the car. We got a 2022 Ford Territory Titanium in white. And if we bought this car brand new when the previous owner bought it, which was around March 2022, it would have been 1.3 million pesos. And just a little over 2 years later, we got ours from Gold Aces Car Display Center for only 880,000 pesos, or a 420,000 peso difference. So despite wanting a unit na nasa Cebu na sana, by June 2024, the unit we wanted was actually in their branch in Manila. So I went to Manila to check it out and to test drive it. And when we were sure na yun na yung kotse na bibilhin namin, we paid the down payment of 440,000 pesos for the car to be shipped from Manila to Cebu, and they handled all of that. And when we got the car in Cebu, we checked it and everything was good. We paid the balance of 440,000 pesos plus shipping upon claiming the car. Silly. Stop it. And free transfer of ownership na siya, which is really convenient because we paid in cash. We saved another 5,000 pesos on that, but more importantly, the hassle of doing the transfer of ownership ourselves. Okay, so now let's talk about why we didn't buy a repossessed car this time, since I was very passionate about it in my previous videos. So repossessed cars offered by banks are medyo limited kasi to what's more popular. Sedans, compact cars, common SUVs, and etc. You will rarely see more mid to higher end cars. It was very easy for me to get my Toyota Vios back then from a bank because there's a lot of Toyota Vioses out there na repossessed. But this time around, we could barely find any Territory or Velos or CRV and the like. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense because people buying these cars don't typically default in their loans. Generally speaking lang to. Of course, there could still be like a chance that they could, but we couldn't find any. And another reason for that could be that they would sell these cars for lot buyers or other dealerships that would buy in bulk or like multiple cars. So maybe yung magagandang kotse, they sell it to dealers because they could get a better offer maybe. Another reason is that banks offer cars on an as-is where-is basis, like I mentioned. And since we're buying a little bit more of an expensive car than my Vios, medyo times 2 yung price, I wanted more peace of mind. So for context, when I got my Toyota Vios before in 2017, I had to change 2 tires, buy new batteries, change some bulbs, get an interior and exterior detailing, kailangan talaga yon, and that costed me around 20,000 pesos. For the Territory, we actually got it checked pa rin after since we were gonna use it for a long drive, and it only needed a brake cleaning and checkup, which costed us less than 2,000 pesos lang. So medyo na-maintain na talaga ng dealership yung kotse before they sold it to us. And speaking of the dealership, let's talk about Gold Aces Car Display Center. Gold Aces is located in Jamestown along Mantawi Avenue in Mandaue City. The dealership is so accessible and their staff were friendly enough to let us try all the cars that we were interested in. We ultimately chose them because the best yung service nila in our opinion and experience. They have a website that they update daily for stocks and prices. So I was checking that website every day. Other dealerships kasi would rely on Facebook posts and marketplace listings, and they were honestly kind of difficult to keep track of. They were also very accommodating of our budget and helped us find the best deal possible for a car that we wanted. Every time they would get a new Territory, they would let us know. And if you're looking for a second-hand car yourself, you can contact Gold Aces. I'll put their number on the screen and let them know that you came from this video. Okay, so let's talk about the last step. It's to pay and sign. So let's talk about the requirements of Gold Aces in particular. If you're paying in cash, you just need an ID and the payment, and that's it. But if you're doing financing through their partners like Asia Link Finance Corp, Global Dominion, Vixon Finance, or Sun Savings Bank, there are a few more requirements, and it's different if you're employed, if you're a business owner, or if you're an OFW. So let's start with if you're employed first. You need at least 3 months payslip, your certificate of employment, and your payrolls, bank statements of at least 3 months, a water or electricity bill, and 2 valid IDs. If you're a business naman, they would need your DTI or SEC, your business permit, your bank statement of at least 3 months, water or electricity bill, and 2 valid IDs. So if you're an OFW naman, you can still buy from them and have financing, but you can't personally apply for the financing. So an immediate family would need to be be the borrower, and you need to give out the supporting documents as the OFW paying for it. So you need 3 months of your payslip, your certificate of employment, payroll bank statements of at least 3 months, water electricity bill, and 2 valid IDs. And then lastly is the turnover. So you have to sign a copy of acknowledgement of payment after paying, signing a copy of delivery acceptance of motor vehicle once you claim the car, and signing a copy also of the deed of sale. And then from there, they will turn over the ORCR, and then to follow na yung pag-transfer sa name mo if you paid in cash or if you want them to do it for you. If my spare key, they hand it over as well. And if they have like a car manual and all of that, they'll hand it over as well. So yeah, that was our car buying journey in 2024. Every car buying journey is different. This was ours and we were very happy with it. We've had our car for more than 9 months now and we haven't had any problems. We've land tripped it to Bacolod and to the north and south of Cebu and all of that. And generally, we're very happy to have our second-hand car, and especially with all the money that we saved because of that decision. And if you guys have any questions, then comment them down below. I'll answer them as much as I can. And if you like this video, then please hit the thumbs up. It really helps my video a lot. And of course, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. And again, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!